and welcome to my pick a card channel, the Tarot Cottage. My name is Amy and I'm here with a pick a card reading for you today. And today's pick a card topic is actually coming from the comment section as a suggestion. So thank you to the subscriber who suggested this topic. They wanted to see a reading on third party. So you versus the third party. How does the person on your mind truly feel about you and any third party that could be involved in this scenario or this situation with you as well? So we do have 3 piles to choose from today. Pile number 1 with the parrot, pile number 2 with the fire, and pile number 3 with the tortoise. So whichever pile or piles are calling out to you, there could be messages waiting for you today, and my timestamps are always listed below. We want to welcome back our beautiful returning subscribers. Thank you to everyone here. Thank you to everyone who has left me comments in the past. We welcome anyone new to the channel to please join our beautiful soul family by subscribing to the channel, liking this content if you enjoy it, hitting your notification bell, and dropping me a comment below, because if you're subscribed to the channel and you drop me a comment, you're automatically entered to win for a free tarot reading. So be sure to do that. Be sure to hit your notification bell if you have left me a comment so that I can notify you in the comment section. We can get the ball rolling. I can give you clear directions on how to reach out to me so I can give you your free reading. But for today's topic, again, it's all about you versus the third party. How do they truly feel? Pile 1, pile 2, pile number 3. We want to put a bit of a trigger warning on this reading because I will be completely direct and honest. I'm not going to sugarcoat third party energies. So be sure to protect your energy. If it starts to be a little bit triggering, you can try a different pile or a different reading altogether. But pile 1, pile 2, pile number 3, how do they truly feel about you versus the third party? Hello, pile 1, you were drawn to the parrot, and this is your reading. You versus third party, how do they truly feel? Now the parrot card says someone will gossip about you and all of your secrets. So this could be a fear of other people's opinions coming in as well. Maybe they're really worried about news getting back to a third party or back to another person about this connection or about how they're feeling about you. But we're sort of going to do this today, pile 1, in a bit of a split read so we can really compare the energy. So on your side, we're going to do on this side, we're going to do third party, and then we're going to move on to how they're feeling about you. So we are going to start with third party today. Using the Disney Villains Tarot, how do they currently feel about the third party in this situation? The person on pile 1's mind, what are their truest feelings for the third party in question? Again, a bit of a trigger warning because these are perhaps very complicated relationships. We're not trying to judge them as good or bad. We're just here to observe. We're just here to get information. But a bit of a trigger warning. How do they truly feel here about third party, please? We have the 10 of Cups and we have the 3 of Cups. We have the 2 of Wands. We have the Queen of Wands. Can we clarify, please, the 10 of Cups and the 3 of Cups? They truly feel about third party. Here's the 2 of Coins coming out here with the 10 of Cups and the 3 of Cups. We have the Page of Coins. We have the Temperance. Back of deck, we do have the Emperor, and we have the 2 of Swords. Now, what's interesting about this Emperor card is that the tiger is actually affiliated with divine feminine energy here. So, and again, it's all about energy, has nothing to do with gender, but it also is an element of risk. We have a lot of interesting things coming in here. We have the 2 of Pentacles, the 2 of Wands, now the 2 of Swords as well. And I have to admit, that's why I put a trigger warning on some of these readings, because this person feels like they're living a double life or like a paralleled life. When it comes to how they feel about the third party, we start with the 10 of Cups and the 3 of Cups. The 10 of Cups is a very abundant energy. The 10 of Cups is about a family energy sometimes. It's about this beautiful picture underneath the rainbow that we've created for ourselves. And there's this 3 of Cups too, which can speak of friendship and abundance and levity in this connection too. And you'll notice that in this 10 of Cups, it's actually a pirate ship here with gold on it. So they recognize that there's abundance in this connection. They recognize that there's abundance with what they've built with this person. And the piracy is almost a symbol of making off with something that I don't really deserve. So there's a recognition of knowing that I'm maybe maintaining two different environments, maintaining two different paths, and that could be a pretty selfish situation. They're also speaking about like endurance. So there could be longevity associated with their third party connection, and how here at the Page of Coins, it's like they still want to maintain that opportunity. They want to maintain this pathway, but there's also a secondary path that monopolizes some of their energy, that monopolizes some of their time, and acts as almost a competitor for them. And this is where we see the elephant graveyard, but this almost looks to me like a pig nose. So that's where the greed comes in. And there's this symbolism of all of these hyenas, and they are scavengers, right? And so they're like, there's a reference to like the scavenger energy and coming in and sneaking off with something. So I do feel like they are acknowledging the risk that they're taking. It's like they're trying to minimize the truth about the abundance that they experience with a third party, if I'm being honest. And that's why we put the trigger warning on, because we know that this could be painful to hear, that they do feel emotion in this side of the coin, that they do feel emotion for their third party, and that they may be kind of drawn by electricity elsewhere, but they still feel something here. They still feel emotion here. And I feel like they sometimes try to deny to themselves the risk that they're actually taking with the divine feminine in their life on this side of the board, if I'm honest. But they're also showing me, like in reference here to the eels, the electric eels, they're showing me the scene in Little Mermaid where Eric and Ariel are in the boat and everyone's singing around them, telling them to kiss the girl, kiss the girl. Like they're very nostalgic about this connection too. So it may have started when they were very young, for instance. They may have grown a family together. And so they are still holding space here in this connection, but it feels like they're holding space in this connection, but they're perhaps slipping outside of it in order to have a little bit of fun as well. I almost feel like they're more friends. Like there's love there, but it's almost like I'm more friends with this person now than there's passion. But there's so much longevity and there's so much history that I feel like it's challenging. Because there's a feeling of being tempted or lured to experience something else outside of this connection. We have addiction, codependent here in this connection. It says has a block and restraint. So there's a little bit of possessiveness that they experience here too as well. We have here heartbreak. It says freedom from toxic relationship or addiction, a healing heart. And yet I don't see angst in their connection right now. I see internalized angst for this person. And we have golden mirror, self-absorbed, narcissistic, one-sided relationship, and love bombing. Back of the deck, we have I like you and boat. It says someone likes you, romance is blooming, fun flirting and wanting to date, but they're also wanting to receive what they want. It says receiving what you need, progression, arriving, moving on, and closure issues. So they may receive what they need here, but then they go outside of it to get what they want in other environments. So let's take a look on the other side here and see how are they currently feeling about you. In comparison here, I'm just going to try to make a little bit more room on this board. I may not have left myself with enough room, so we'll just put this down here. In comparison, how do they feel, please, towards pile number 1 in comparison to the third party? We have here the Five of Swords. It is coming out sideways. We're going to leave it just like that. We have the Ten of Cups. I feel like they're really afraid of things coming to light about this connection because of the conflict that they're worried that it's going to cause. Because it's like, again, they want to maintain this, but they want to maintain this too. But it could be at great risk, where that gossip with the parrot may be coming in. We have here the Hanged Man, coming reversed. Can you clarify, please, the Five of Swords? Here's the Hermit. The Four of Cups. You represent this new opportunity, this new approach that they're trying to apply. You'll notice that she's looking down at 3 cups, and here we have the 10 of cups with the 4 of cups, but they're looking at the 3. We have the 10 and the 3 over here too. Because you do feel like a bit of a breath of fresh air when it comes to this environment that they've always invested in, perhaps. And I can't deny that there's a certain amount of victim mentality that they're applying to themselves. It's like they feel bored over here sometimes, and so there's like, this is like the solution to that boredom. And it's almost like they don't feel like it's fair. It's like that they can't explore it freely. But we can't deny with the Hangman reverse that sometimes they feel a little traitorous in regards to this connection. And there's a lot of conflict here. It's like the reality is that they know that gossip could perhaps destroy them, or gossip could create a lot of challenges for them here too. But it's like they're telling themselves that they're in love. Like the King of Cups is here. There could be fatherhood associated with this person, but it's like they're telling themselves that there is love here, or that there is this development of love that is possible in this situation. And so I do think that this is a very emotional person. Here's the 2 of Swords, and there's the King of Wands. I do think that they're an emotional person, and they are saying that there's a big, strong reaction that they're having about you. But it's like they feel like they're denying themselves, and they don't feel like that's fair sometimes. It's like, I have to deny myself because this could create conflict for me, and I have to protect myself. And they know that again, gossip could create a lot of obstacles. So even here at the back of deck as the 2 of Swords, this is where they are at this crossroads, where they are seeing themselves sometimes as the victim, and that may not be authentic. Spirit is highlighting that sometimes this person's desire to self-protect creates negative actions, or creates someone who's not making positive choices for themselves or intelligent choices for themselves here too. They are trying to protect their heart space from emotional investment. And we can't deny the absence of cups, except for the 4 of cups here, the 10 of cups. Like they see something in you like a breath of fresh air that breaks through the apathy that they're feeling on the other side here. But it's like they're trying to minimize their heart. Whereas I feel like the heart is still playing a huge role here. Spirit can't deny that, again, this person is a little bit more concerned about their own safety and the reactions towards them than they are concerned about conflict for other people at this time. But when they admit the emotion that they're feeling, it kind of puts them into that victim mentality, and they move into the victimhood because they don't like feeling like like they are a traitor to other environments. It's like they want to be free to explore this perhaps, but they know now is not the time. Because of the careful, it's like that's where the hyena analogy comes in over here. It says, you hurt me, but that's okay, I guess, because you have so many choices and options. It's like they feel bad that they don't have the freedom, or they don't have the choices and options, so they kind of are projecting some of their angst outward. There's a message coming through for someone specific about being blocked, or it's like dropping off contact. So maybe you've done that to this person in the past, and that's where they feel ignored sometimes. And again, where they would apply a victim mentality where perhaps it's not supposed to be. I just dream and wish for everything here, but it's not time. It's time for me to ground myself. Whoopsie daisy. As we flip through, Spirit shows me you are wrong. So there's a rest, and gossip hurts more. So they know that perhaps they're taking negative steps, or they're taking steps that they shouldn't be taking. But they're telling themselves that you are their everything. There's a lot of sexual motivation. It says, I imagine you naked. But that's the second time that gossip has been brought up. So they're worried a lot about even other people's opinions about the situation. We have Ace of Pentacles, wanting the opportunity, and the back of deck says, you are right. I meant what I said. And that's the 5 of Swords. I worry about us a lot. And the truth is that the conflict is here. And as much as they know that the conflict could create obstacles for them, it's like they almost are saying the heart kind of wants what the heart wants, or the desire wants to go where it wants to go. How do you truly feel, please, about pile number 1? We have here, thinking of you. a loving thought and serendipity, and a jewel within a teardrop. It says appreciation and spiritual and emotional reconnection. So even though things are not ideal, it's like there's bittersweet and energy surrounding this jewel within a teardrop here, because you represent this desire to be liberated from one environment so that they could find perhaps peace or more fulfillment, what they would find in the future. But I also recognize that they may not feel like now is the time to pursue that. Let's get a charm bowl, please, for pile number 1. Now that we have compared these two energies, some advice for pile 1 in the bowl, please, with the small tarot. Page of Pentacles coming reversed. They are speaking here about someone. The Page of Pentacles reverse is not necessarily speaking about somebody who sees things clearly, who's leading from objectivity. You know, it's kind of like somebody who's making problems, or it's like a troublemaker a little bit. Sometimes it speaks to like troublemakers within work realms or school realms, sometimes home realms. And the Eight of Swords here is all about liberation when it's in reverse. It's like I need to liberate myself from something in order to go towards the opportunity that I want to go towards. And yet they're afraid to look bad. They're afraid to take their mask off and look bad, even though they're going to achieve perhaps more confidence in a liberated connection with you. They're scared to do that. We have here the endurance of the elephant. I do think of India as well. Now the elephant is reversed, so technically his trunk is actually not up in the air, it's actually down. So they're referencing how luck is not on their side the longer that they try to endure. It's like somebody who was trying to act through integrity. We have the heart space. We also have here the Sacred Heart of Jesus. There could be a very religious person that we're dealing with as well. So there could be religion at the base of things. Here's the Tower falling over and the High Priestess signifying secrets. We also have the anchor next to loyalty. So the anchor is connected to the dog on the ring. So feeling anchored by my loyalty, Sagittarius energy, a very self-protective type of person. And the thorns amidst the roses here with Jesus. Pile 1, that's what I have for you today. I hope it resonates with you. Drop your comments below for your chance to win a free reading with me. Be sure to hit your notification bell. I also offer private readings through my Etsy account, and that link is below. I do sell out daily. I do sell out quickly, but I do repost every day, so keep checking back. But I hope you come back here and visit me at the Tarot Cottage. I hope you have a beautiful day. Hello, Pile 2. You are drawn to the Fire card, and this is your reading. Their feelings for you versus the third party. We're going to do this as a split read. We're going to do third party on this side and their feelings for you on the other side. But we're going to start here with this fire. It says strong emotion, passionate love, or hate. And so there's this, it almost looks like the fire is going to grow out of control here. So there's a passionate side to this person that they apply perhaps both in positive and negative ways. So we are going to begin with their third party. We're going to start with that. How do they truly feel at this moment, please, towards the third party? And we put a bit of a trigger warning on the beginnings of this readings because we are going to be honest about their current feelings for the third party. And sometimes that can be painful or triggering for us. People are very complex. We have the Wheel of Fortune. The Two of Wands. How do they truly feel about the third party, please? The Knight of Wands and the Four of Swords. Back of the deck is the Queen of Swords. I almost get the reference of like this person, if they're referencing a divine feminine energy in their life, this woman is the boss. It's like she rules the roost and she's the one that dictates when we do everything, if we do anything. It's like she's the one that kind of rules the house. We have the World. They are a little intimidated by this person. Here's the Eight of Swords. I'm going to get one more for the Son of Wands and the Four of Swords. Thank you, Spirit. Queen of Cups. They're also highlighting motherhood for this person, which plays an active role. So children could be in this situation, which complicate things. Here's the Nine of Swords, and there's the Four of Cups. Now, we have to address here, they're speaking about how in this connection with the third party, especially since children have come in or since Since this person became a mother, there hasn't been a lot going on physically between the two of them. And that's like a reality that sort of stings here. Because there was a time in this connection where they felt like they hit the jackpot. There was a time in this connection where it was really passionate and they had a lot of fun together and they were right on the same page with that. But it's almost like they feel like it was a bit of a bait and switch. But it kind of feels like the divine feminine, because they became a parent, they sort of stepped more into like a grown-up role, so to speak. And it's like they started to apply themselves differently with more boundaries, more focus, more determination, more maturity. And this person is kind of calling it a bit of a bait and switch, where it's like, well, we used to be like this, but now you don't want to do anything anymore, or you don't want me anymore, and that's just a reality. But they're also speaking about like the reality for this divine feminine, about how she takes on a lot of the emotional labor in this environment. She takes on a lot of the labor of the environment. So ultimately, it's like she has a reason why maybe there's boundaries there for her, and this person's not really thinking that through, but they're kind of frustrated with the lack of intimacy in this connection. And there's a feeling of feeling stuck here at the Eight of Swords, but look at how this butterfly is about to break through its chrysalis. And here at the Two of Wands, it's supporting this Two of Wands of like the full spectrum. It's like the veil is very thin. The full spectrum of them feeling quote unquote stuck. It's not a true authentic application. Like, it's not this person making them feel stuck. It's their fear of exploring something outside of this, because they do rely on this heavily. It's like this person ties up all the loose ends. I feel like it's almost like their partner looks after them in a sense. It's almost like their partner has stepped into a motherhood role. And I think as the divine feminine, some of us out there would all understand what that feels like. It's like to step into like a parenting role versus a partner role. And so they're dissatisfied with the intimacy, but so is the divine feminine here, because she's had to take on extra responsibility that she doesn't feel like she should. So I do feel like here with this Nine of Swords and the Four of Cups, they do feel helpless to create change. And I feel like it has something to do with like how they feel about themselves. Like they do feel like they can't create change here. There's a little bit of helplessness, but ultimately there needs to be a shift in perspective here to see something authentically, because they get easily triggered, especially by the lack of intimacy. And that could actually be one of the huge momentum or huge driving force towards them taking risks or taking leaps of faith as well. It's just they feel like they don't communicate anymore, or they just don't feel like the two of them are on the same page here at these earthworms that toil beneath the surface. So it's like they're both working, they're both in this collaboration together, but it's like sail ships or ships that pass in the night. Right? It's like we're not communicating anymore. We're just going through the motions or going through the vibrations of life at this time. So we have this strong emotion, passionate love or hate. And I feel like they do apply these emotional outbursts to this environment. The Nine of Swords is like overthinking. They overthink things. They worry about this connection a little bit here too. And I feel like there's almost a part of them again is very codependent to this person. So they're almost rely on this person. They have relied on this person in the past for that self-assurance, for that ego boost, and they may have used intimacy as a really strong caveat towards that. But they don't feel like they have that anymore. So it's creating this really strong emotional response in this person. How do they truly feel, please, about the third party? So they are curious about what another life would have looked like. Here we do have soulmates coming out, soul contract, partnership, agreement. The soul contract, it's like we've made an agreement. We do have mirroring each other. Our self-image and relationships reflect our wounds, and lots of introspection coming through here. I just saw healthy choices. We have here receiving what you need, progression, arriving, moving on, and closure issues as well. And back of the deck is paradise. Happiness, expansion, joy, playfulness, oneness, enjoying each other. And whenever I think of paradise, I do think of the stability of the palm tree, and I think of an island. And they've built something with this person. Like they've built a family, they've built a relationship, they've built this island. But it's also can be very isolating there. And there's loneliness, to be honest, associated with how they're feeling on this side of the board. So let's take a look now and see how they're feeling about you in comparison? How do they feel, please, about pile number 2? We have the Ace of Wands, and there's the Four of Cups. You'll notice the Four of Cups over here as a support to my back of deck. And they're showing with the Ace of Wands, it's actually a bone saw, and underneath is the wild rose. We also have here the fern. We also have, and they're showing me the fern because they're showing me that scene from How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days where it says, our love fern, you let it die. So they could be referencing a love fern on this side or love fern with you, but they're referencing living wild and free for the inspiration, bones to pick about freedom. And even here with the daisies, this playfulness, this romantic aspect, it's like uncertainty of like, do you like me? Do they like me not? It's very exciting to have this kind of romantic period of uncertainty. And this Ace of Wands, this spark that you've created, might have been fueled by like boredom on the other side, or and frustration, that helplessness that we talked about. It's like you are acting as this, it even says heroin down here, and morphine. And so you're acting as this, it's almost like a drug, like this, a spark that they feel towards you. It's attraction that almost feels like a drug, and it helps to placate how they're feeling on the other end. Here is the Page of Pentacles, the Hierophant, and we also have the Ace of Cups, love potion number 1. There's a feeling of like having a soft spot for you, and maybe this is even somebody from your past, like having a soft spot for you. Because they're highlighting like youth and levity, and like maybe wanting to explore, like I was free when I was young, or when I had freedom, maybe wanting to explore this from the past as well. There's a sense of like growing up. And there's also a sense of like having to pick bones in this environment until my children are not a factor anymore, or until they are no longer a concern for me as well, because they're really worried about how this could impact children. But like in comparison, if this person makes them feel like a knight who's maybe always asking for something, you make them feel like the king, right? It's like the King of Wands is here now. A lot of Leo, Aries, Sagittarius with this person. Here's the Chariot. And so it is the influence of this attraction that highly influences how they're feeling over here too, because the comparison, especially when it comes to how motivated they are, how excited they get, and how fulfilled they feel, is very different between this Knight and this King of Wands. You evoke this strong emotion, this passion here. We do have the Three of Pentacles on the back of the deck, and we have the Six of Wands. And there's the Three of Cups. It says joy tonic, bliss elixir, love potion. You make them feel very empowered. It's like you're like this breath of fresh air that pops in, because this is like something very different from what they're experiencing over here within their foundations. You give them confidence, and yet because you give them so much confidence, it almost feels like they're afraid now to lose the confidence. They're afraid to lose the confidence here, but they're afraid to take their masks off on this side of the board as well. We have here, all is connected. Now this is number 12. It was wanting to come in reverse like the Hanged Man. And we had this imagery in the pile number 1 as well about victim mentality and feeling like a traitor as well. So we have Observer. And someone who, again, maybe they told themselves they should look and not touch. Maybe they're telling themselves they should look and not touch. Maybe they're waiting for the perfect shot or the perfect moment here. But they're having to deal with the fact of this little spider sitting in the center of the card that says we weave our own destiny. And there could actually be a connection between you and their partner in some way. So it's like they're worried about crossing an overlap of some kind as well. Back of the deck says a long way home. And this is speaking to endurance. You can see that there's an anchor, and then there's this big balloon on top carrying their home away. It's like feeling anchored perhaps, and not wanting to leave anybody in the lurch, not wanting to hurt anybody, and feeling like there's still a lot of work to be done before they can actually get what they want out of this foundation. How do they truly feel, please, about pile number 2? I'm going to use the Entanglement Oracle deck for some messages about their current feelings towards you, pile 2. I should have taken the chance. So perhaps they are regretting that they didn't take the chance. It's like this person, if this is a person from your past, then this may resonate differently than if this is a current person in your life at this moment. Because they are speaking about risk versus reward. And if there is nostalgia from the past, they feel like they should have taken a chance because maybe they would feel like the king here. Maybe they wouldn't be feeling like a situation that stings. I can't go on like this. The ball and chain. It says here, but I want to explore my dark side with you, but they're afraid of getting caught. And we have the fuzzy handcuffs here. It's very physical, but there's the ball and chain over here. And they're actually highlighting even like sports practice, like having to take my kids to sports classes or something like along those lines. Soccer practice. Looks like a soccer ball. It says here, I do have a plan for us, but we just have to wait a little longer. It's like now's not the time, because I have a soul contract with someone else. But they do want, like they want you. They want to have this, they want passion in their life. And that's what they feel like is missing from the other side, is passion. Oh, we have here, it feels like every song is our song. I am longing to hold you. And you trigger me, and you don't mean to, but you trigger me. Back of the deck says, why didn't you call or text? And there is a reference sometimes to the Four of Cups about feeling like maybe there was a spark between the two of you, but then contact fell off, or this is from the past. They're wondering why you didn't stay connected or why you didn't pursue more. And perhaps you didn't because of the complications of their third party as well. Advice, please, for pile number 2. We have lots of confusion here, but a connection and an attraction to you that does persevere or that does have a lot of momentum or strength. I think that the way that they feel with you sparks confusion for them over here because it starts to highlight more dissatisfaction for them when they start to feel like they're missing something. Let's get a charm bowl, please, for pile number 2. Advice for pile 2 in the bowl with the tiny tarot. 5 of Wands. 4 of Pentacles. It's like this person I just heard the term stuck in the middle with you, like the Mad About You entry song. Here's the Hierophant and the concern for the home, but there's also this restlessness of like competitive forces or something that's competing with their concern for the home, and it's almost taking precedence. It's almost taking more of their energy. We have the honey cells and we have the blue star. I do think of Aquarius energy multiple times here. Sometimes depression with the blue star. We have overcoming powerful forces against us with the strength rune. It says, I love you to the moon and back. It's a children's book, Sam McBratney. So there could be youth associated with their children, but also associated with the past of your connection. We also have friendship and dolphin, and I think of the 3 of Cups and having fun. And perhaps still more investments that they are anticipating in their current relationship. Pile number 2, that's what I have for you today. I hope it resonates with you. Drop your comment below for your chance to win a reading with me, and be sure to hit your notification bell. You can also check out my link for Etsy for a personal reading, and I do update that shop daily. But I hope you come back here and visit me at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Hello, pile number 3, you were drawn to the tortoise. It says, slowly but surely getting ahead, and this is your reading. How do they truly feel about you versus the third party? Now, the tortoise is looking towards change. It is sort of an earthbound animal, and it does take its time to arrive. And so they may have intentions towards being able to create change in this situation where there's third party, and maybe slow, but they perhaps have determination that slow and steady would win the race as opposed to taking action right away. So let's take a look here and see. We're going to start with how do they truly feel about their third party. Now, we have been giving a bit of a trigger warning for the beginning of these readings because we are going to be honest about their current feelings for the third party, and sometimes that can trigger our emotions. So how do they truly feel about third party at this moment, please? We have the 5 of Cups. I just saw the Queen of Pentacles. There's a lot going on here. There's too much going on here, but I do want to address some of these here. there's a very strong sense of balance. We have the Queen of Pentacles, which is talking about commitment cycles, security, taking leaps of faith that could create conflict, would create lots of turns of events and lots of momentum. But what would it do to the balance? And the braided hair here, they are worried about balance. They are worried about other people's opinions swooping in as well. So they do get very triggered in this connection, because I feel like we're starting with the Five of Cups, which is a lot of loss and a lot of regret. So they may feel like there's just been so much hurt or so much loss that I can't get back to an emotional place here. But I'm also really concerned about this Five of Swords. Here's a 5 and here's a 5. It's like, because even when this triggers me, I don't want to deal with the conflict that moving away from it would create either. And I will say this, I will say that during conflicts, during arguments as well, it's like we know how to push each other's buttons. So it's like we know how to push each other's buttons here. And so it's sometimes, because we know how to push each other's buttons, it's like sometimes we are not being generous with each other, or we're not being compassionate with each other sometimes when we trigger each other, even though there's loss and regret here. Even though sometimes I know that I've done wrong and they know they've done wrong, it's like we just can't seem to give each other the benefit of the doubt sometimes. There's the Five of Wands now. And fives are opportunities for growth, and these types of conflicts are built into all relationships. But again, with that Five of Swords that we just saw, it's how we handle the conflicts that help us to evolve and become better people and better partners, or that help us kind of regress. Here's the Nine of Swords. And I do feel like a bit of a regression here. We can't deny that. There's the Four of Pentacles. There's a practical element to this person's connection with their third party. And it could be financially driven. Like we could have combined finances. And it's like there's a lot of complications now with building a life and a home with another person. But I do feel like they're very defensive when it comes to even giving their partner the benefit of the doubt, and maybe even vice versa. It's like I almost feel like there's quick to anger, quick to frustration, quick to react when I have hurt someone or when I've been hurt here. There's the Hermit. A lot of Virgo energy. And there's a lot of holding on to the past. I just feel like there's a lot of holding on to the past, and maybe past resentments, past hurts here too, that create the conflict now. It's like if we're not dealing with the conflict properly in the past and it just keeps rising to the surface, we're just going to keep exacerbating a negative situation. And so there's like this reference to like the past and how the past still comes up and the past still creates conflict. And it's like this person applies this perspective of like, well, it just is what it is. Can't we move forward? But that's not being compassionate to the other person's experience. There's some denial here. It's like we're not honest with each other about our conflicts, about our obstacles, about our past hurts. We're not honest with each other. And it's been a habit like this for a while. Even here with the 7 and the 9, it equals the Tower. It's like none of this is new. There's been like, it's like we keep seeing the same conflicts and having the same arguments over and over and over again, and no different results. Here's the Knight of Cups or Knight of Cups and the Four of Cups, or Knight of Wands and the Four of Cups, and there's the Knight of Cups. And I feel like the Four of Cups has been a bit of a theme here across the board for all three piles, because when we're bored and when we're apathetic, we're going to go looking for something to fill that space. And so that's sometimes the driving force to action of us looking outside of ourselves, outside of opportunities to fulfill, because they're not feeling that over here. But there's also like a fear and concern of being critically honest, even though the truth keeps revealing itself over and over. It keeps hitting us over the head, both of us hitting us over the head. It's like I still can't say it out loud. I can't say sorry out loud, but that's just a part of the problem. I can't even say the truth out loud about how frustrated I am, about how even frustrated with myself that I sometimes get. And it's like I don't like the version of myself that I am when I'm here. It's like I don't know like who I become because of the conflicts that get created. So I feel like we have to admit that there's not a lot of cups over here except for the Five of Cups being shown. And that is, again, a sense of loss and a sense of mourning. Now, there are solutions that we can find to help elevate ourselves within the Five of Cups, but I feel like they're looking at it like there's no solutions. It just is what it is. And when we stop working and we decide that we're done learning, then we're done in an environment. And that's why perhaps the Tower is kind of looming over here in this situation. And I will say the Knight of Wands takes sometimes a great risk when he goes towards fulfilling a desire or fulfilling a need. He doesn't always know where that consequence is going to take them. So he is a little bit worried, he or she is a little bit worried about denial or about lies that are being told on this side of the board, because they're worried about what the consequences could be. And so they may intend on making change, but they don't feel like they can make it right now. And they're even speaking here about how this tortoise is almost in reference to like, we could grow, we could learn more about each other, but we're taking such a slow approach. Maybe this is longevity as well. Yeah, I just saw a mask. We have date, wanting to meet someone new, wanting to get back out there, planning and setting a date so that they can get what they want or get what they need. I just saw the boat, arrival issues. We have engagement ring, engagement, completion, union, commitment, but also coffee cup. It says meeting and conversing, savoring the moment and feeling uplifted in a friendship. And then we have the snake, competition, enemy, clever, malicious, looking over your shoulder, and the other woman. So they may have already perhaps been crossing a line or contemplating crossing a line with you perhaps as well. We have heartbroken, deeply sad, separation, feeling lost, grieving, and mourning. And we actually started with that Five of Cups. Because I feel like this person is not anticipating what would happen if this did come to a close and if it was removed from their life. I feel like it's one of those quintessential, it's like I didn't realize what happened until it was gone, or I didn't realize until the tower fell. But right this moment, they're feeling a little listless. They're feeling a little frustrated here. So they may be taking a little bit of a risk. So let's take a look here on the other side of the board. How do they truly feel, please, about pile number 3, in contrast to how they feel about the third party? There's that Knight of Wands. And I don't know if this is a badger. I don't think that this is a badger. It almost looks like, I can't remember the name of this animal, but it looks like a dangerous animal. Wolverine, maybe. Here's the Knight of Swords. And I just heard the term barracuda. And there's the Emperor. This person like wants you. They do want you. It feels kind of dangerous though. Both of these animals, the Knight of Wands, the Knight of Swords, they're both very intimidating. And so, and I will say both the Knight of Swords and the Knight of Wands, they are the knights that are rushing forward without really thinking about the consequence here. And you'll notice that this owl now, he's sitting on the razor's edge. He's planted himself here on the razor's edge. And underneath him are the four feathers, which is referencing the Four of Swords and realities that kind of sting, that they may be able to anticipate. And that could be why they're taking such a slow approach. Even despite the tortoise, these two knights move pretty quickly. Here's that King of Swords. Can you clarify, please? How do they truly feel? And they're highlighting the night owl, like they just said night owl. So this is like a lot of thoughts of you come in at night. Here's the Ten of Pentacles. It's like they're acknowledging that they might sacrifice this environment and the sweet results that await them here for this gratification, this instant gratification. And it's almost like they're committed to sweet results with you. I feel like this person is telling themselves as well that this is not just physical, that they could have a committed relationship with you ultimately, but it's like, you can notice that all of these bees have a little coin as their thorax or their bottom, whatever, however you want to call it. And the Five of Coins reminds me of the Five of Pentacles with the pentagram. So it's like they're relying on perhaps timing, movement as well out of this realm into this realm with you. but it's going to have to come at the sacrifice of the other realm. And that would be the sweet result with you. We have the Fool. And they feel like they're currently on thin ice. It's like they're currently taking risks. Maybe just in communication, but they're currently taking risks in exploring this. But they're highlighting almost like the northern lights and like the magic that they feel with you. Like there's just something about you that draws them across that ice, even if it's a little bit thin. Here's the Rabbit. And the Fool's telling them that, you know, there's a reference of like, don't be late, or like it's too late for them as well. But they're trying to blast through that perception. It's like they're trying to ignore the obstacles in this moment, but they know they're a little bit on thin ice, even at this moment. It's like they're taking risks. And maybe that's why they're going so slowly with the Tortoise, with you, perhaps, even though they want to take things quicker into a committed relationship. Because this person thinks that you're a huge upgrade. And now may not be the time for them to actually create the upgrade right now. Here's the Black Widow. And almost like the energetic exchange, the way that they feel about you has the capacity to perhaps hurt them. We all know what the Black Widow is capable of when she's done with them. So like they're almost intimidated by you, wondering if you are actually interested in a relationship with them or a commitment with them, especially considering the timing is not going to be here or available for you. Or going to be ideal because of the slow rate of speed on the other side. But it's like they're intimidated by the Divine Feminine in general. It's like after the Black Widow is done mating with her partner, sometimes she'll bite his head off. Here is the Three of Swords and the Hierophant. And the Three of Swords, these are not actually bones, they're tusks breaking through the chambers of the heart. The tusk, I think of the elephant and endurance. And I think of the necessity to overcome obstacles. Because it's like I'm following a line, or it's like I'm following the matriarch. It's like the elephants are ruled by a matriarchy. And so there's this reference to like the Divine Feminine ruling what happens next as well. Wanting to remove their shackles from third party here, but being afraid. It almost feels like in this side, something's brewing between the two of you. Communication, desire for communication could be brewing between the two of you. But they are just, it's like they don't know how to navigate this without protecting themselves. And so they also are still anticipating that they can't create change right now here, even though they are interested more in developing this friendship, or what they would call maybe wanting to date you, wanting to move into more passionate responses, even at the risk of their environment. Oops, on the floor. We have here the Blue Flame, Spontaneous Awakening, Activation, and Integration Time. And it says absorbing what is not yours, the energetic sovereignty. Back of the deck says the Great Severing, Mars energy, anger, conflict, and softening to love. So when they feel agitated or frustrated here, it's like they feel like it would be a better, easier, more exciting path to explore on this side of the connection. Let's get some message cards to see what sort of thoughts they have had. How do they truly feel about pile number 3, please? I really hate not talking or communicating with you as much as I want to. And even though we're not together in this moment, I can't see myself letting you go right this moment. How do they truly feel? I act happy, but I'm not. And they're anticipating more of that to come as well. It's like, please give me a chance. It's like I'm slowly, surely getting ahead. I'm trying to manifest our connection. I know that you're my twin flame. And they are anxious. They want to be intimate with you. It says, don't focus on who wants me because I want you. And these may have been things that they have even communicated with you, or they will communicate with you in the future, pile 3. I've thought about having a family with you, and you will hear from me soon, is on the back of that deck. Let's get a charm bowl for pile number 3, please. Pile number 3, advice for pile number 3 in this third party situation. Whoopsie daisy, missed it. Justice reversed, the Six of Wands, and we have the Lovers. Now the Justice is in reverse, which does speak sometimes of an injustice, of things not being balanced, and somebody perhaps who is not being honest, or like there's a certain amount of double dipping that we can feel here. Trying to maintain balance on one end, but being dishonest in the process because they are afraid to make decisions between parties at this moment. But they do feel a very strong physical attraction to you, and it boosts their confidence. It's almost like they feel like it's not fair that they've met you, or that they know you, that they want you, and they can't have you. We have the hospital, could be a hospital nursing connection where we met perhaps. We have W, T, H, and N. G, there's that honeybee and the secrecy of the high priestess. We also have a wrench in our plans. Sometimes the wrench is children, sometimes the wrench is just fear. We have dreaming with the giant Z and the letter W. Pile number 3, that's what I have for you today. I hope it resonates with you. Please drop your comment below for your chance to win a reading with me. You can also check out my link for Etsy for a personal reading, of course. But I hope that you come back here and visit me at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope you have a great weekend.